What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi! My name's Jessica and I'm Flourishing Fit Blonde. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, go check it out. But today we're going to be talking about macros, understanding macros, and how to track macros. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. But on a side note, it's so warm in Georgia! Like, is it summertime yet? Because guess what? It's probably going to snow like next week and we're going to be all like, why the fuck you teasing me? Like, dang, it's beautiful. Alright. So, hot subject. I know everybody's trying to get ready to look good for spring break, for the summer. It's coming faster than you think. I mean, just look at it out here. Can you believe how freaking warm it is? I can't, and I'm sweating. The video today, of course, we're going to talk about macros, understanding macros, tracking macros. I've done it for probably 3 years, so I kind of know the ins and outs of it. We're just going to dive right in. The first thing about macros is you should probably know what are macros. Macros are your macronutrients. They are your carbs, your fat, and your protein. Those are the main 3 components that people typically track, and then of course there's fiber that people want to pay attention to, but then there also is micros. So micros are super important because those are your vitamins, your minerals. You kind of need those things to survive, to feel good. I mean, you need carbs, fat, and protein too, but you can't forget about your micros. Eat your vegetables, eat your grains. That's how you get the micros. The carbs have 4 grams of, or 4 calories per gram of carb, and the same with protein, and then fat has 9. So typically when it comes to your fats, you want to be very cautious about that because it is more calories per gram. So that means when you snack on nuts and all the different like oils and different stuff like that, be very cautious. They're healthy for you, but you don't want to overconsume because then your calories are just gonna skyrocket. I feel like tracking to me is honestly the best way to lose weight, the best way to transform your physique, the best way to lose body fat. The reason why for that is you're consuming food and you know when you're tracking what you're eating. If you know what foods you're consuming, then you kind of know what of a range that you should really be burning. And I've kind of found my own macros out by trying like 5 or 6 different calculators on the internet because, well, one calculator is not going to be very, very precise, but I've tried a bunch, kind of take a range of what I can have, and then I just kind of start off from there. Eventually I make tweaks if I need to make tweaks because I'm not really losing much weight, but you just kind of figure it out, you play around. It's a learning process and every person is different when it comes to their own set of macros. You can't do somebody else's macros and make it your own and expect to get the same results because everybody's different, everybody's body's different, and everybody burns calories different. So there also is a formula. I can put that on the bottom of the screen here. If you want to try and figure it out by a formula, then you can do it that way too. No big deal. It kind of gives you the same result. It might even be a little bit more precise. But I just have always done the calculator and it's always worked out for me. So, of course, the most popular app is MyFitnessPal when it comes to tracking. So pretty much the database that they have is so huge. It is massive. When it comes to you want to go have Krispy Kreme and you want to type in a glazed donut, boom, calories are there. You want to go to Chick-fil-A and try and figure out what you can fit in your macros, boom, calories are there. Now for me, as you guys know if you followed along my last few videos and you follow me on my social media, which name will be placed here, then you know that I'm living more of a paleo-based lifestyle. I've just transitioned because it makes me feel so good, and last year I really had a hard time struggling trying to figure out what's going to work for me, and after about 3 days of transitioning into a paleo lifestyle and a paleo diet, I literally felt like a new human because my energy levels have increased, my digestion has increased, and it just really opened my eyes up to what types of foods I was eating before and how they really treated my body. And I'm all about listening to your body, so that's kind of my perspective. You can do whatever type of diet you want, but no matter what diet you're on, you can track. Now, I don't feel like tracking is the only way to lose weight and to lose fat. By all means, you can intuitively eat, but the reason why I do it is because I like having some type of structured plan. I like planning out what I'm gonna eat. I like knowing what I'm gonna eat just mentally, and also too, I've tried intuitively eating and I find myself always hungry because I'm just a hungry gal and I can just eat because I have really no self-control. So when I have a plan, I like planning things out. So I just feel very put together and organized. So it just feels good. I guess I'll give you guys a couple of ideas of what meals that I like eating that kind of give you a gist of what you could do. So something that I like to eat, let's say for breakfast I have a smoothie every single morning, and I love it because it fills me up and it's super delicious, and I can throw in a bunch of micros in there, and it's not super high calorie. So we'll go with one that's a little bit higher fat, a little bit different than what people would probably put in a smoothie. So I typically do a base of ice and water. I will do 80 grams of bananas. I will do half of an avocado because it makes it creamy, gives you some healthy fats to keep you fuller longer. I'll do a scoop of either Vegas Sport protein or my Sun Warrior protein, or even the Vitals protein collagen supplement that I've been showing you guys or talking about in my Instagram. And then sometimes I'll put like some stevia in there if I want a little bit more kick, and then I'll always put a handful of spinach and some frozen triple berries, like a triple berry mix, and that gives you fiber, that gives you healthy fats, that gives you micros, that gives you protein. So that's kind of something that I would do. I guess you guys, I'll put all the calories up and everything like that so you can kind of get a gist. But no matter what, there's always just so many different options that you can have. That's kind of a staple meal that I have. It's about, I think, if I can think off the top of my head, 350, 400 calories. Who knows, I might be completely off, but that's just kind of an idea. And it's something that I like to do too if I go to dinner, let's say at sushi, and they don't really have the calories or the macros like on like MyFitnessPal or on any type of app that you use to track. Then what I do is I typically will type in like, okay, let's say I'm gonna have 4 ounces of tuna sashimi. So I will just type that in and find one that looks pretty accurate. And then let's say I'm gonna have a cup of rice. Well, then I would just type in a cup of rice. I don't really have to choose Crucio's 1 cup of rice. You just know, okay, mentally, let me get an idea of what a cup of rice is, and then I can eat that. And then just anything that, like, if the macros aren't inside MyFitnessPal, you just type in what you have and kind of take a gist of what you get. Of course, nothing's going to be perfect. You just want to have an idea of what you're eating and just make sure that you're eating in portion size and just everything like that. That's another tip too that I totally forgot about. I love tracking because it really gives you an idea of your portion sizes and of like how much you're truly eating, because before you might think that a serving of cashews is a whole handful, right? But then whenever you actually start maybe weighing it out, if that's kind of your thing, or you start using cup sizes and stuff like that, you'll put it in your hand and you'll be like, dang, I was eating like 2 servings, which is probably 400 calories of cashews rather than eating only 1 serving. And that definitely can open up your eyes to really give you an idea of portion size too. And I think that's super important, because when you go out to restaurants, then you'll kind of know, okay, I know that this is 4 ounces of chicken, this is a cup of rice, and then you can just load your plate with veggies, no big deal on that. So now, another thing too is tracking. Yes, you can't just pick up everything and say, boom, I can track, I'm a tracking master. Like, no, you actually have to take some time and practice. It's not something that you can do, the next day perfectly. So I always give people a suggestion to track calories for about a week. Don't pick what type of macros you need to have. Just kind of give it a gist of, it gives you a gist and an idea of what actually am I eating. You might be under eating and not even know it. That's another good thing too. You're trying to lose weight, you don't really eat a lot. That's going to show you whether or not you need to eat more calories, and maybe you'll start losing weight because you weren't eating enough to begin with. So I just give yourself a week, try and track your foods, try and become a consistent, plan. You got to build a habit to really get into it. And if you feel like, you don't have enough time to really plan, okay, when am I going to track my food? Track your food either that morning if you have time before work, or, the day before. If you have a hard time figuring out what you're going to eat, if you do it the night before you go to bed, then you can have your meals planned out. You really won't get off track and off, your calorie goal, because you're like, well, what am I going to have for breakfast? Let me look. What did I plan? 2 eggs, some toast, and some fruit. Well, then you're going to eat it. What am I going to have for lunch? You don't have to think about it. You already planned it. So you don't really have to worry about not knowing what to eat. And And other things too, it's fun because if you plan to lunch and then somebody asks you, hey, you want to go out to lunch? Well, then you can just take away those items, go to lunch, find something on the menu that fits your macros, and then go from there. And that's really why I like tracking, because there's just so many opportunities and so many different things that you can do, because it is very flexible. You have a calorie goal, and then of course you want to make sure you're getting plenty of fruits and vegetables and plenty of fiber. So I feel like for me it's helped me for years to really be on track and to figure out what types of foods I'm eating and how I feel. Now, other things that I've done, which I'm kind of doing right now, I'm not super strict on the numbers. I kind of try and get a gist of about 120 grams of protein, and then my carbs and fat, I kind of just get to my calorie goal. So if one day my carbs are 200 and my fat's like 60 or 70, and then the next day my fat's like 90 and my carbs are like 60, that's kind of just how I feel. People have done that, but in the beginning I'd really just try and focus on trying to get your meals in, trying to figure out, you know, what foods that you like playing around with. Try and get comfortable with really adding in things and get comfortable with using the app. And then once you feel like you're comfortable, then, you know, go for trying to plan your meals the night before, that morning of. I really like tracking and planning early on, because you don't want to eat a breakfast and then you go and track it and then you're like, dang, my breakfast was 1,000 calories. Like, holy shit, I didn't even know that. So if you plan, then you don't have to worry about going over your macros, because once again, you plan. So I guess that's kind of some of my tips. I really like doing it. I'll give you some of the apps or the websites on the bottom in the show notes to show you guys like what type of websites I've used for a calculator. I'll also make sure to put that equation in the bottom too. But of course, like I've said, by all means, you don't have to track to really see progress in your fitness journey and to transform your physique. I just find it very, I guess, calming mentally, and I just love typing everything in. It's just fun to me to see what types of foods I can eat and what kind of meals that I can create. This is just kind of the way I've done it and how I've enjoyed it. So yeah, I think I covered everything. I mean, I hope I did. Once again, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was very informational. And I'm going to try and keep doing more videos on this, because I just love informing you guys and sharing what I have learned. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to follow me along my journey, if you want to follow along on any of my social media platforms, you know, subscribe to this channel. Click the little bell to know whenever I have posted a video, and then I'll put my social media in the links below. And yeah, so I will have to see you guys in the next video. Bye! What's up, you guys? This is terrible. Let's start that over. Cut. What's up, you guys? What's up, you guys? I don't know how to say what's up, you guys, but we're gonna leave this in because this is me and I want to show you guys who I am. Oh god. What's up, you guys? See, that's bad. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is bad. We're gonna keep.
I like the what's up, you guys.
Oh, me too.
Keep it for all of us.
What's up, you guys? Because that's what I say anytime the camera turns on is what's up, you guys. What's up, you guys? Do I look good?